At all, eh? It really isn't, to be honest with you. Weatherman this morning said 18 degrees. I knew it was going to get hotter than that. I predicted 20 degrees. 24 degrees. Too hot. Really. Anybody would think it's summertime. Tuesday, October the 6th, and I'm absolutely elated because I'm joined coming out of New Jersey. I can get it. I should be a cab driver there, really. I'll be able to get that accent down. No worries. Coming out of New Jersey is Nikki Briar. But very first of all, let's do this.
Galaxy 107fm.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107fm into the afternoon too, by the way. And for you guys that are watching this live right now, thank you so much for tuning in to us. Believe me, you're going to love this. Nikki Briar is joining us. For those that are going to watch it later on YouTube, you know what to do, don't you? Sub, thumb, bell, bingo. You got it. Anyway, Nikki Briar, absolutely brilliant to have you on board with us. Let's kick you off, first of all, with hometown news. Then we'll meet in person right here at Galaxy. God, it's hot in here.
So what is the temperature?
It's 25 degrees Celsius.
You've got your clock.
85?
25. That'll be about 85 degrees Fahrenheit over there, yeah. Maybe just a fraction higher,
I
actually.
don't know.
I'll tell you what, we got to 30 degrees yesterday. At this time of the year, we should only be 18 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
So, in correlation, sweating. And I need to employ somebody as a fan person. I really do. And it's winter time here.
Wow, it's winter.
Well, it's
Well,
spring.
actually, is it officially still winter?
No, it's spring.
It's spring. Okay.
Spring.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
How many of you guys got out your springs and started cleaning them? No takers? No, I don't think so.
It's 77 degrees.
Who does spring cleaning?
Me.
Who cleans springs?
Well, I don't think it's spring, is it?
It's weird. It's really, really weird. It's a weird saying, isn't it? Spring cleaning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spring cleaning.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you do that? Do you spring clean?
Not necessarily. I think I just feel more inspired to do. I'm always cleaning. I've got a house full of boys. I'm always cleaning. So.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay. Well, you know, for me, if I was going to be spring cleaning, I'd be, you know, with the hose on the ATV or something.
Is the new baby a boy? Is the new baby a boy?
Now, is the new baby a boy?
Another boy. So
Huh?
that's boy number 3.
No.
You're blessed. You're blessed.
So when I wrote Mama's Boy,
You
it's
meant it.
really Mama's Boy.
You meant it. Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
Now tell me, Nikki, do you want a boy or another boy, or would you prefer a girl?
I guess I was partially praying for a girl just because I'm so outnumbered. But a huge part of me knew it was going to be another boy because I feel exactly the same way I felt during my other 2 pregnancies. So, which means I feel good, I have energy, like I feel good. So I was like, I know it's going to be a boy. And then when my doctor called me to tell me, she said, so do you want to guess? And I said, I know what it is. I said, it's a boy. And she goes, well, yeah, you're right, it's a boy. Said,
Very
okay,
cool.
Try again next year.
Keep us informed. Let's go to the desk. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, 21 after 12 o'clock, 25 degrees. Really, really warm. I got to be honest with you, it's not the coolest today. And going over to the Garden State, and believe me, it's been a while since I've been there. Used to hang out at Asbury Park, to be honest with you. Here's Nikki Briar coming out of New Jersey. Hello, Nikki. Nice to have you with us.
Howdy, y'all. That's how we say hi in Jersey. Just kidding.
Believe me, I know a few South Carolinians that would go, bingo, got it, you nailed it.
Yeah.
I do, actually.
It's always great to talk to you and see you.
Well, you know, Nikki, it is an absolute pleasure to meet up with you. I'm very, very humbled, I got to be honest with you, because since we've started playing your music, we have been inundated with emails wanting to know more about your music, everything there is to know about Nikki Briar. Now, one thing I know straight off the bat, mother of, and expected mother of two so far, expected mother of three. We're going for the trifecta too, by the way. They're all boys. So congratulations, Nikki. That's going to be a handful.
Yes, absolutely. It's already a handful with the 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, and being a musician. You know, this is my full-time job. You know, songwriting and performing and touring. So, and we also have 6 animals at home too. We have 6 rescue. We have cats and dogs. So we are a full house.
And don't forget, you've got a husband as well. Now, do you know something? It doesn't matter the age of the boys, whether it's the brand spanking newborn or your husband. Us males, we never grow up.
That's basically part of it.
It is, isn't it?
You said it.
Yeah. And I say that for all of us males with pride. You know, you'll never get us to grow up. You really, really won't. We do stand up and take responsibility. Well, from time to time anyway. But we're always little boys at heart. We really are. So, good luck to that. Good luck to that. Nikki Briar, we are not going to ask you the rigid, standard 12 questions that everybody asks. Believe me, you may need a therapist and or a stiff drink, depending on condition at the time after this. But believe me, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here at Galaxy.
Thank you.
Now, we kicked off the show with Hometown News. Tell me a little bit about it. How did you come to the lyrics?
Well, that song actually was pitched to me when I had finished my first album. Gosh, that was in 2007, 2008. And my first album was called A Soldier's Princess, which I had wrote and co-wrote with my friend Mike Cool in Nashville. So literally going from New Jersey all the way to Nashville to start my career and see where it could take me. And then after we finished that album and we continued writing and we continued recording, my friend Mike Cool, who is a phenomenal songwriter and musician in Nashville, and he's also from New Jersey, he had just kept sending me like more songs that he had done on his own and with other co-writers. And he's like, look, Hometown News, it was written for a guy, but I think that you would nail it. And when I heard it, I said, I could turn that song into like a Shania Twain, a little bit of a traditional country pop type of song. He let me kind of work out some of the lyrics a little bit, so that way it was not so male driven and it was a little more female. And then I think after we had about 6 or 7 songs, then I went back to Nashville to record that album, which was for country thing. So I don't always pick songs that are pitched to me because I have to be able to like relate to them. But I think that's the nice thing about it, is that you can have songs written for you or pitched to you, and even if your name's not on it, you know what I mean? Like if you can relate to it, that means that your audience can relate to it. So that's why I chose Hometown News to go on the album, because I'm from a small town in New Jersey, and I had always hopes and dreams of doing something with my music career, but I'm very limited to where we are in New Jersey, especially when it comes to country music. So it's just a very relatable song to me, and after we did the production of it, it just blew me away. So I was really happy to have chosen that one.
You know, I absolutely love it, Nikki. I really, really do. Got to let you know too, by the way, 64 countries around the world, 97 cities hooked in, listening to us this morning. And believe me, it is an absolute pleasure to have everybody joining us this morning. Now, this afternoon now, isn't it? It's after lunchtime. Normally we do these between 10 o'clock and lunchtime, but for you, we've made an exception, believe me. I think it warrants it as well, so
Thank you.
no worries, no worries. And I'm sure the biggest kid of the family is looking after the others right now, right?
You're right, exactly. They're outside. Well, right now, my time it's 7:30 at night, and they're outside playing.
Nice.
Good. Go build a fire. Go do a bonfire. Do s'mores and marshmallows. Mommy's got work to do.
Nice. And at the same time, they're not playing games on the phones and stuff, are they?
Oh, they're only 2 and 3.
No.
No.
They're very active little boys. They're only 2 and 3, so obviously they're going to learn about technology, but they're very, very active. So and because I've always been an active, pretty hyper person, which I get from my father. My father's also a musician, and he's very hyperactive, and his mind is always going. So I kind of take after him. So like I always want to get out of the house and do something. So obviously during that 5-6 month period of the virus, that was tough because we're being told we can't really go out and do certain things. So we tried to just do as much outdoor safe activities, go to the beach, go to the park, try to be outdoors as much as possible, because luckily it hit us at a time where it was summer. So but yeah, I see a change. If I'm doing stuff and I have to keep them occupied and have the TV on for them, I see a change in their behavior. I see there's a difference just from them watching 2 hours of TV versus being outside for 2 hours. So I noticed that in there. And I guess because my background is in education and I went to college for, elementary education and special ed. So I already had the idea of when I become a mom, I want them to be engaged with, music, activities, and just try to, and with boys, it's really easy because they don't want to sit still anyway, so it works out.
Yeah, you're quite right there, you really are. Now, Nikki, I'm going to ask you, how long have you been singing?
Well, I actually, and I'm sure you hear this all the time from artists, but I really did start singing as I think I was about 18, 19 months. I had a delayed speech impediment, so I wasn't really developing words and language at the age that you're supposed to according to the doctors. And because my father was a musician, I actually had assistance from music and music teachers that helped me articulate and talk. So that's music literally helped me, in life. So I was able to listen to a Whitney Houston song or a Michael Jackson song, and I was able to sing the words, but you couldn't have conversation with me, I couldn't get the words out. So I literally, music, I grew up on it, and it helped educate me. So, hi. Hi. The babies are saying hi. Hi, Mommy. Hi.
Yeah, yeah, I can.
Mommy's playing music. Hi. So it really helped me, and it helped me build confidence, and it helped me just like to be able to connect with people. And then from that point on, forget it. It was like I had to be the center of attention. I had to be on stage. You had to give me a microphone, and then that was it. So, but my father was a touring Motown drummer, and he played with Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons. And they all grew up in the area that we grew up in New Jersey, and he got to play with Tony Bennett, and he opened up for Frank Sinatra, and now my father is 83 years old, so this, we are going back in the day.
Just a little. Yeah, it sounds like the what was his name? Sonny. Nah, never mind. Lost it there for a minute, but I get it. I really, really do. And believe me, I think my parents would appreciate all of those names rolling out, if you know what I mean, because believe me, they were a big fan of that era as well. Yeah, I kind of missed that era. I think I came in a little late for that one, to be honest with you, but I have had extensive in music and played them over the years, you know what I mean? I can understand about the speech impediment and everything like that. Believe me, I had one as a child as well, until my father gave me a microphone and a reel-to-reel tape machine, and before you know it, I became a bloody DJ.
See? That's what I mean, right? It's just something about it really helps. I don't know if it just triggers a different part of the brain or what it is. And then I was like fascinated by it. Like music therapy, I think is absolutely amazing. And even with my kids, like I think is really awesome to hear kids sing along to songs and follow like lyrics. And I know there's a whole thing out there that people say, well, lyrics don't mean anything, but they really do. Lyrics mean a lot. And I think as a country artist, that's what attracted me the most to country music, because all the lyrics, all the lyrics tell a story, and that's what you use to connect with your fans. So.
I totally understand that, and well, I don't know where your friends are that says lyrics don't mean anything. They would just be music otherwise. They would be Chopin still, you know what I mean? It would still be in the era of Bach. Lyrics mean everything. It's part of this. 37 years as a studio engineer, recording engineer, also front of house engineer, also a radio announcer, and the highest levels of this country and sometimes around the world. In fact, I've travelled a couple of times now through America, well, actually with an Australian band that only had 4 letters. And 2 of those, Australia can't get past 4 letters. They can't. I mean, one's got a lightning bolt. They added something to it, but other than that, 4 letters, right? Both bands. And have toured extensively with these bands. Now,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I tell you how bad it is in Australia that they can't get past 4 letters. They can't even spell 4 letters. Believe me, they got a beer with 4 X's on it.
Yeah.
Do you think I'm getting at them? Never mind.
That's like us cracking jokes about like New Yorkers, like New Jersey attacking New Yorkers. That's like.
It's all about the 5 boroughs, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is. It is. And you know what's funny? Until we started touring, like around the country, I never realized like how big. And I'm 40 minutes away from New York City. But once we started touring and we played all areas of New York, like all the way up by Canada, I was like, never realized how big the state of New York was. And I live so close. So it's really been nice as a musician, as an artist, to just kind of explore my own territory and play in areas where I'm like, no, I would never go there if I didn't do music. So it's pretty cool.
Have you played the Garden yet? Have you played Madison Square?
Well, so there were, right before the virus had started, I was on tour with the Marshall Tucker Band. And not that we were going to play Madison Square Garden, but I sing the national anthem professionally. So I had done all these like big arenas and stuff. And there were talks about doing it at Madison Square Garden for some of their big, sporting events. So, we were waiting for details and information and stuff, and then the virus hit. So hopefully, when things go back to normal, I'll be able to make it to Madison Square Garden.
Nice. Well, I got to be honest with you. We have actually played at Madison Square Garden, been a number of years ago, I got to admit that. But absolutely honour to be a part of the garden. It really, really was. And I mean, all sorts of sporting events, all sorts of musical events happened there, and only the best happened there. Yeah. They really do. But having said that, I've also played at Asbury Park as well. And, got arrested at Asbury Park, I got to be honest with you.
Was it the Stone Pony?
Yes, it was the Stone Pony. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Legendary. You got arrested?
Yeah, I did.
What did you do? You're so innocent. What did you do?
It's me so innocent. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Okay.
No, I lost my lanyard, my backstage pass, and they wouldn't let me in because they didn't recognise me, and I kicked up a stink so much that I actually had to have the event organisers come down to jail and bail me out.
Oh.
I was supposed to be there.
Welcome to New Jersey.
Exactly. But, at the same time, didn't mind the ride in the cop car. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, was it?
It was. Never ever in my life before have I ever had some serious dudes pointing guns at me. This is weird.
Oh my God. Terrible.
Absolutely fun. But I tell you what, it ain't just for the boys.
Ain't just for the boys?
Yeah, ain't just for the boys. Tell me about this, because believe me, this was the very first song I ever heard of yours, Nikki, and I absolutely loved it. Please, tell us all what Ain't Just For The Boys.
Ain't Just For The Boys, that was a really cool concept for doing a song that was like geared towards, the ladies having a good time and like as equally as fun as all the country boys out there, because there's been so many songs just about, obviously even about country music being like a very male dominating genre of music, and we just wanted to get a song out there that was geared towards like girls can have fun too, girls can be, like badass and, do their thing and everything. So, again, this was, written with my friends in Nashville and Mike Cool, and it was like when we first did it, it had a little bit of a different tone to it, and then when I went into production, I wanted it to be like, I don't know, like a little outlaw country, but like have just a little bit of a, like a darker sound to it. And I really love Gretchen Wilson. So I kind of wanted to have the production part kind of spin off of, her independent woman, outlaw country kind of feel. And, but, again, being authentic to who I am, because like I grew up, in the suburbs of New Jersey. So I'm not going to, sing a song like she has, Redneck Woman. That goes to her style of, her lifestyle. So this just kind of geared towards like girls in general having a good time, no matter where you're from, and just kind of teasing the guys a little bit. a little.
I get it. I get it. I really understand that, Nikki. So, right here at Galaxy Live with Nikki Briar is Ain't Just For The Boys. How you feeling? You okay?
Oh, I'm great.
Nice, nice.
This is fun. My boys are trying to get some airtime.
It's all
Yes,
good,
they
believe
do.
me. It really is. Oh, gosh.
They're silly.
It's hot.
Now, you'll get a copy of everything we do today. We'll transpose the video we're making right now on Facebook Live. We'll turn that over to YouTube and give you a copy of that. Barbara will make a movie, actually, for you. And she'll add all the photos. There's my production manager. She's snapping away quite nicely as well. You'll get all of those. After we do the interview, we'll do a couple of crazy photos that will get you, you can put them on your cell phone as a wallpaper or something, show your mates, the kiwi's not healthy, don't do it, you know what I mean? Because I've got to be honest with you, Nikki, you don't have to be nuts to work here, but it helps.
I didn't say a thing.
Of course, I miss going when we would do like a radio tour. I haven't been in like a radio station studio in so long. Like everything's been virtual, which is nice, but you still like miss the connection and the
hugs
fun
and the
like
kisses.
atmosphere.
The free coffee!
Yeah.
Cream buns, scones.
Absolutely. Believe me, we kind of miss people coming into the
Savouries.
studios as well at the moment. But we respect and understand it's a surreal time right now, so we've got to adapt, you know what I mean? To which is actually quite freaky because we've adapted so much. Next year we're putting in monitors all the way through here where the audio audience, we call them our community, Galaxy community, and audio audience because they hear us on the radio, but now we're going to make them more interactive. When they're watching these interviews right now, we can actually twig it out so that they can ask you a question personally and you can respond to it personally, you know what I mean?
Like that, yeah, so it's more interactive, yeah.
Far more interactive, and besides, after the interviews, stuff like that, they can watch Galaxy TV with all the music and everything like that, videos, you know.
Yeah.
That's
been such a benefit, like with having, internet radio and being able to Skype and everything, that like you can reach people like you've never reached before. It's amazing.
I tell you what, on average we have about 5 million people online while we're doing this, so
Wow.
it's not a bad score actually. Let's go back to
No,
the best.
no, that's very impressive.
So, are we the first international radio station you've been interviewed by?
Like that I've actually Skyped with, yes. Like I never get to really see the person that I interview because we'll either do it by phone or by like you could just do it like a Facebook but phone. I never did a Skype one before. So when Barbara and I were setting it up, I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't used Skype since my husband was in Iraq. So I have to re-up my membership and make sure that everything still works. because I haven't done it. So it's absolutely amazing. Because, you know, like I said, it's different like when you just talk to somebody on the phone, or if you're like doing like a pre-recording, but like to be live and to see you, it's just like, oh, so
Yeah,
awesome.
I feel sorry for you. I got to be honest. I got the perfect face for radio.
You really do.
Yeah, I do. Thank you.
It's a perfect face for radio.
Yeah, I do. That way nobody can see it.
And, and you got the perfect face for a country music video.
Well, here's one for you. Just the other day, I did a video for a band coming out of Canada, a metal band that I'm going to be a part of on the video itself. And I introduced them to another band, my biking brother actually, Gay Miranda, coming out of Norway. I introduced these guys together, collaborated. They brought out this heavy metal Christmas song. Absolutely brilliant.
Whoa.
It is. It's stunning. It's lovely. I love it. I really do. And then the guy that has the band, and the band's called The Mighty One, coming out of Canada, Tim Steinruck, he says to me, Grant, I want to shoot a video with you introducing it, stuff like that, and then sitting there holding cards, telling everybody about how we met, because when I met him, I actually friended him on Facebook, and he comes back with, who the F are you, what the F do you want? And I went, well, I'm just a humble DJ, and I kind of like your music. Can I play it? And he goes, oh, okay, what do you like? So I gave him a couple of songs that I liked of his, and he started talking, and before you know it, we become very, very close friends. He's a great guy, he really, really is. And I caught him on the right time at the right moment with the right answer, and so forth. So things have transpired. Now, the guy from the Norwegian band, Gay Miranda, are you familiar with Lord of the Rings?
Oh, yes.
Yep. Well, Sir Peter is actually a friend of ours. I've got to be honest with you. I went to university with him.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah.
How awesome.
Yeah, he wasn't Sir Peter back then.
No.
He was a scarfie, like we call ourselves scarfie. Right down the bottom of the South Island, New Zealand's made up of 3 islands. One is Stewart Island, and then they forgot to have any sort of imagination at all, because Stewart Island got a name, Stewart, right? Then we got South Island,
Yeah.
and then, lo and behold, North Island, yay. You know, I'm still up for renaming this stuff, you know. I think,
Right.
yeah, South and North, great, you know, anyway.
Right. Very creative. Yes.
Well, right down the very bottom of the South Island, where I went to university, is a place called Dunedin, and believe me, it gets damn cold down there. We're not too far away from the pole, to be honest with you, know, Antarctic and stuff like that. And it wasn't so long ago we actually saw icebergs and everything floating off coasts just a wee while ago, you know. So it does get cold down there. So part of the school uniform was actually a scarf. So
Oh, wow.
we became scarfies.
Oh, how cute! That's cool.
Yeah, we also used to burn our couches at the end of the year too.
Oh, that's a typical thing to do.
Yeah, the big street parties, all the kids burning their couches, because believe me, you spend a lot of nights on those couches. Yeah, study. I'm sure you've been a student yourself. You understand
Yeah.
the higher echelon of being freaked out and having to study in the first, next 5 minutes before you sit your assessment. All the rest of the time it's all party. We'll get it done. Yeah, right, until, oh my God, it's tomorrow? So believe me,
Sometimes, so yeah.
we've had a lot of fun on those couches. And of course, street parties up and down the whole street, and a number of streets as well, would all toss our couches out onto the street and set them alight, and before you know it, the police and the fire departments, all sorts of things, they're admonishing us. They don't like the idea at all. Whereas, a couple of hundred students having a ball on one street, and, well, what do you know, the next street over, and yeah. lot of fun, it really was. Could have been dangerous, but no. Anyway, my friend, it is an absolute pleasure to catch up with you. And there's been from time to time I've needed parental assistance while I was down in Dunedin being a student. So I'd ring up my mum and say, can you send me some money? The old man used to accuse me of being a mama's boy.
Aww.
Oh.
And I'm sure your mom gave in and gave you anything you wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, damn right she did. She really did. To the absolute horror of my father. He hated the idea at all. But I seem to have that connection with my mum. But I'll tell you a true story, to be very honest with you. At a certain age, my mother used to make dresses for some of the local ladies' daughters around the area. And I just happened to be the perfect size model.
Oh, come on.
So, my brothers have still to this day never let me forget this. You know, I can remember the days of Mum sticking pins in me while she's trying to hem stuff up. I'm not kidding you. And I had long blonde hair, literally down behind my knees. And
Really?
it was pure white at one stage. I used to get called Snowy at school. And mainly because I did a lot of surfing. I never went, you know, I used to ditch school to go surfing as much as possible. Maybe that's why I'm a humble DJ, you know what I mean? Talking is all I'm good for, but, you know, I really did. Long blonde hair. My mum used to sit there every night brushing my hair, and my brothers used to call me a girly name. So, you can understand why my father... You know, listen, my father, when I first went to school, my father used to call me Jesus Christ.
Wow.
I'm not kidding. I went to school, my first days at school, everybody come around, what's your name? I went, Jesus Christ, and they go, no, your name ain't no, my name is Jesus Christ. You know, all day, didn't believe me. I took 30 kids home to my house, the first words out of my father's mouth was, Jesus Christ.
Exactly, right. That's my name. That's what he calls me.
Yeah.
Even today, if I caught up with my father today, he'd still be saying the same thing to me, to be honest with you. But he really did think at one stage there I was a mama's boy. Now, you know about mama's boys, don't you?
I sure do. And now, you know, my husband he's in the Army, and, you know, he's a pretty rough, tough kind of guy. So I'm just going to hold on to them as long as I can, but I know that it's inevitable that he's going to, you know, try to enlist them and try to, you know, make them rough, tough boys. But I said, for now, they're my babies. They're my, you know, my boys. And I wrote Mama's Boy back in like the beginning of April. So during the whole, you know, pandemic, being home 24/7 with them, and we had to cancel our performances and our tours. So, you know, I was pretty bummed out, and then I just said, like, I have to because I just feel very comfortable on stage, and I just feel very comfortable around people. So, I said, you know, I have to, I started doing the virtual performances, and I said, I have to put my creativity to a little bit of a challenging test, because I've been doing this for 12 years, and I always co-wrote with people. I'd write a song here and there that on my own, but then I would always say, it's not good enough. So I said, no, this time I have no choice. I'm on my own, and I don't really want to co-write with somebody virtually. I kind of like to do that more together. So I decided that, you know, well, once the babies were sleeping, I came downstairs to my basement studio, and I would just kind of like force myself to do songwriting all by myself, and the melody, the words, everything. And so I actually came up with, the first song was Forever Young, and then the whole EP, the 5-song EP, was going to be based on that. But then the second song I wrote was Mama's Boy, and I was like, oh no, that I started doing it like virtually just to share with fans. And then I just said, you know what, that's going to be the first song off of the EP that I'm going to share with everybody. And then that's when I told you before, we connected with the recording studio in New Jersey, which is in my hometown. So it's like 10 minutes away from here. So it's a little bit nicer than having to travel all the way to Nashville and drive 16 hours. And then all my musicians and my band members could meet me there, and they can do their part. So like it was nice, like reunion to come together and to record. And my fiddle player is the producer. So it really was like a nice way to write a song about my experience being a mom, and also then just like testing my creativity and pushing myself to solely do it by myself, which I really surprised myself, and I was very proud. And then being able to reconnect with my band members after, not performing together for about 4 or 5 months, and going into the studio together and doing it and piecing it together. But I was really inspired. I mean, my oldest is 3 years old, so I said, well, I have to write a song for them. But I've been working on that in my mind for like the last 3 years, and like everything was really cliche, like, motherhood is great and love and this and that. And I'm like, well, it is, but it's also chaotic, and like my house is a mess, and it's really loud. My sons are Irish twins, so like there's diapers 24/7, and then I said, well, I want more kids, which people thought I was crazy. So like I wanted to write a song that captured that. Like I didn't want it just to be like a serious song. I wanted it to be a fun song, again, that people can connect to. And after I did a series of performances with the incredible Rodney Atkins, and he wrote a song about a father and son relationship in a fun way. And I said, that's what I want to do. I want to write a song about a mom and a son relationship in a fun way. And I don't know how I did it, but I did it at 3 o'clock in the morning, and there is Mama's Boy.
Right here at Galaxy 107 FM live with Nikki Briar and Mama's Boy. Nikki, it's not easy getting an interview here at Galaxy. I've got to be honest with you. Poor Barbara gets about 30 bands a day getting in touch with her. She has to filter through that, keeping in mind that we've only got a certain amount of time each day and each week to be able to do these. Yeah. Then she goes to production, and her work it out kind of, you know what I mean. Then it goes to a board, and the board goes through it every week going about their only concern majorly is their image. It's got to be good. You know what I mean? Yeah. Our image. It's just got to be spot on, or we're not interested.
Yeah.
You ticked all of those boxes. Now, having said that, then it comes to me. Now, I get it in a kind of a USB kind of device that Bluetooths to my stereo in my car. Now, I tell you why that is simply, I hear the music without any information. It gives me no name, no title, nothing. So I mirror it, whether I want to do the interview, on the music itself. Being an engineer and a DJ, I know what I'm looking for. So nobody can influence me on that decision. Secondly, well, to be honest with you, Nikki, nobody wants to drive with me. I kind of think going sideways is weird.
Yeah, sideways.
Well, you see, we're surrounded by 4 cities. We're a little town in the middle of about 3-4 cities. So if we want anything, it's only about an hour's drive, really. It's like you going down to the dairy. You know what I mean?
Right.
I remember what the traffic's like over there. Believe me, you need to plan 3 hours ahead to get a couple of blocks.
Seriously.
It's still like that?
It's true.
Really? Oh my gosh.
I mean, where I am in the suburbs, it's not so bad. But then, like once you hop on the Parkway, the Garden State Parkway, that's like that's your main road to get from Atlantic City all the way to to New York.
Yep.
But yeah, like after 5 p.m., it's traffic. So
Yeah.
we would know if we have a show, we have to leave like 2 hours earlier just in case. Yeah.
Exactly. That's like Auckland in New Zealand. Let's get back to the desk.
Just slow down, mama's boy. You're mama's boy. You're mama's Galaxy FM.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM. Poor Nikki, she's going to get all of these photos, and the lovely producer in the background, she's taking photos, snapping away. So I thought I'd throw a couple of interesting ones in there for you. We'll give you those as well. So no apologies, but I do feel sorry for you when you go through this again.
No, I'm sure I'll be just as entertained as everybody else.
No, yeah, I thought that. I did mention that I knew a therapist, right? I did, and in your area too, by the way. Now, have you ever been a part of the Josie Awards yet?
I know that I was nominated a couple years back for a couple of categories, and I was invited to attend when she held it. I think it was at Opryland when she had it at Opryland. I think that was
Dollywood.
1 year that she had it there.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, she does.
Yeah.
She does have it at Dollywood. Now, I got to let you know. Yeah, I got to let you know, the Queen of Country Music here at Galaxy, and believe me, she's been there for a number of years, 10-time Dollywood Josie Award winner, and it's like the precursor to the Grammy Awards, really. It's for country music, you know what I mean?
Right,
And
right.
I must introduce you to this lady, believe me, because I think you guys would get on like a house on fire. I really, really do. And her name is Michelle Lee. Now, what I'm building up to is this. Being a country artist yourself, you surely must know a little bit about country, like some of the Outlaws, maybe Popcorn Sutton, for instance.
Such as, say it again?
Are you familiar with Popcorn Sutton?
No.
Let me introduce you.
Uh-oh.
Let me introduce you to the underworld of moonshine. And he was an absolute moonshine legend, literally. And he, by the way, ended his life on his own terms. Wasn't going to let the government have a power at that. But believe me, this guy was an absolute legend in the drink moonshine. Now, this lady I'm telling you about, Michelle Lee, in the heart of it, got to be honest with you, she's right in the mix right there. And she sent me a few prizes and bits and pieces over the last couple of months. And she sent me this thing here. Now, this may be rather interesting to you. It's actually a hip flask, and I kid you not, she's even signed it on the back.
Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah.
Right? And it's straight out of the Appalachians with a bit of moonshine in it. Right?
Ooh.
Because we were talking about it, she was commissioned by Popcorn Sutton's wife to do a song about Popcorn Sutton, you know what I mean? So we were talking about that, and we were discussing about the moonshine and everything like that. She sort of giggled at me and she goes, oh yes, I know all about that stuff and all that sort of stuff. She sends me a couple of T-shirts, a couple of pics and bits and pieces, blah, 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 blah. Then this, right? And even on the back it goes, I picked this especially for you. And I went, oh, nice. Even in the front it says, Alice ain't got nothing on moonshine. Well, okay. Obviously that's a joke from where she is. But she says to me, only drink it for a special occasion. I thought, yes, sweet, that's a great idea. We'll hold it for that. Maybe Christmas time, we'll have a back at Christmas. We'll have a few celebratory drinks then. And then she won her 10th Josie Award, which, I mean, nobody yet has ever won 10 Josie Awards in 10 years. You know what I mean? Every year. So that's legendary. Thought, time to bring out the good stuff. And she says to me, okay, Grant, I'll have one with you. So she says to her partner, go and get me that stuff that magically appears in my freezer. And I'm going, hold on, freezer? This has been sitting on the shelf over here, for, you know, since I got nobody mentioned, what's freezer got to do with it? She goes, well, you've got to keep it in the freezer because otherwise if you drink it room temperature, it's going to blow your socks off. And by this stage, I kid you not, Nikki, she'd also sent me a shot glass.
Okay.
It's got her logo, everything on it, you know, and I've filled this up. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, no, I'm not going to pour that back in there. That's uncouth and just not the way you do things. But I'm a Kiwi, and she goes, okay. And she comes back with a mason jar full of this stuff, and she goes, it just magically appears. And I went, yeah, okay. And she goes, you know it is illegal where I'm at. And I went, yes, I do. No worries. We don't care about that because it's not illegal here. Okay, we can make as much as we want. The government doesn't give a two hoots about it. Anyway, I've got this glass full of this stuff, and she goes, just sip it. Well,
Can't take like a real shot.
the thing is, we're Kiwis. We don't sip nothing.
You're right, yeah.
Yeah, we end it, you know. We put the end up in the air.
Yeah, that's how I would do it too, yeah.
Apparently the staff here were getting radiation blisters off me.
Yeah, you went red.
I turned that red, boom, I could have been a beacon. You know what I mean? Spin me around every now and again. I could have saved ships. I went that beat red. But I tell you what, I got tore up from the floor up. Now, Michelle Lee, I did actually. I really got, the rest of the staff spent the rest of the day having a lot of fun at my expense. And I've learnt a thing about permanent markers. And my staff have a sense of humour I never knew they could own. Yeah, especially with a permanent marker. Yeah.
We've got some here.
Yeah. You see these sexy glasses? They weren't so sexy when I wasn't wearing them and still had glasses.
I look forward to taking shots again. That's for sure.
Well, I tell you what, when you do, we'll have to meet up and have a few drinks ourselves. Now, I've got to ask you, as I was saying before, it's a surreal time with this COVID virus thing going around, but we are starting to come back to some sort of normality. We're looking at maybe early parts of next year we can start having concerts and stuff like that again. So,
Yeah.
Nikki, would you consider coming down here to New Zealand and playing in front of New Zealand audiences?
Oh my God, absolutely. I would love to.
Yeah.
I'd love to travel, and I think it's a beautiful country, and now I know you guys, so I would totally go.
Well,
Absolutely.
you're going to have to bring your returned serviceman husband with you, believe me. And
Oh, yeah, the whole gang's gonna have to come along. Too,
yeah, hell yeah, all four boys, literally. But believe me, you'll have a lot of fun down here in New Zealand. Now, just got to say though, I did mention they were a little crazy here, right? I did.
Well, you mentioned it, but I'm used to crazy, so I don't know.
Well, are you up for a few challenges then?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I love this. Okay. Nikki
I'm
Briar.
a nervous girl, so always.
All right. Have you ever heard of a hoo-hoo grub?
Oh, what?
Hoo grub, spelt H-U-H-U grub.
Nope.
No?
What is that?
Okay, well, you're familiar with a caterpillar, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, this is not that, really. It's big, it's white, it's like a double-decker bus to a mini, to be very honest with you. And what you do, now, this is a delicacy here in New Zealand, with the indigenous folks of New Zealand being the Maori. They still do have it as a delicacy, they really do. And we will make sure that we send you the instructional videos, just to show you, I'm not pulling your leg, but what you do is you put the live body in your mouth, rip off the head, don't eat the head, but when you crunch down on this, it's like eating creamy peanut butter.
No, you've lost
Oh, my
them.
God.
She snorted.
No.
Yeah!
Maddie, that's not a thing.
Yeah, it is a thing. In fact, we do it to everybody we bring into New Zealand through Barbara's Aurora. She's the manager of a company that brings bands into the country, tours them up and down, does all the logistics, everything like that. So stay in touch with Barbara, she's very important. But me, you got to wonder about the guy that's handing you a bowl of these, expecting you to take one, right? Yeah, well,
Does it matter that I'm a vegetarian?
not at all, not at all. We will call it a vegetable if you want.
Oh my God.
It can also be a mineral, and you know, we could go down the whole gamut and just pretend, but really, it does taste like creamy peanut butter.
Oh my God, I love peanut butter. You're going to ruin peanut butter.
Well, I tell you what, I'll make sure you got a bit of alcohol to go with it, and maybe, you know, we were talking about shots, well, maybe a bottle or two before or after enjoying, but, you know, maybe even throw in some jam, jelly, just to make it taste that much more fun. You see, I did mention we're made up of 3 islands, right? Stewart, South, North. Down the west coast of the South Island is a little town down there that has, you're familiar with festivals, right? Yeah, of course, kids wandering around, candy floss, hot dogs on a stack, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, not in Hokitika, unfortunately. They deep fry stuff you just shouldn't deep fry down there.
Oh my gosh, really? Oh.
And it's basically my backyard where I was brought up, so I kind of feel obliged that I got to go there every time they have one with one of my bands or something like that that were touring around at the time, and introduce them to the concept of New Zealand's Wild Food Festival. And believe me, I've seen, you've got purple hair, I've seen some green come out. I really have, and all over the ground too, green, yeah. Yeah, it's true.
None of that now.
A little further down the South Island is a place called Queenstown. Now, we would love to take you down there, Nikki, believe me. Shania Twain owns property down there. It's a boutique kind of town, come city, where all the A-listers disappear and go down there to get away from the paparazzi, their friends, their wives, and take their mates. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those kind of places, really. I tell you what, Kevin Costner was there not so long ago. Tom Cruise, Keanu Reeves, all go down there, have a bit of fun.
Nice.
You know, you never know who you might bump into down there. But Nikki, I warn you, you don't want to bump into me. I tell you, I'll throw you off a bridge.
Throw off a bridge.
Yeah, I'll throw your husband, both of you. I'll throw you off a bridge.
Is that slang for something?
No, it means I will throw you off a... What's slang for throw you off a bridge?
Bungee
I mean, I'm
jumping.
serious. We have a thing here in New Zealand called bungee jumping.
Oh, of course, bungee jumping.
There you go. And
That's pretty cool. That's we've done parasailing before. My husband talks about, well, because of the military, jumping out of the planes and stuff like that. So that would actually be pretty cool.
nice. Well, if you don't want to try that, we can always swing you out over a big canyon as well, which is really spectacular. Believe me, you could change colour, literally. But I tell you what, you're not Australian, so we'll attach the bungee.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. My boss is giving me a bit of stick over there. Now, I tell you what, if you want to be thrown out of a perfectly good aeroplane, well, I've been skydiving now
Hopefully.
for about 35 years, so I don't mind assisting you out of a plane. Same with your husband. I'd be more than honoured to be able to throw a veteran out of an aeroplane. I love that. Don't mind.
That would be something.
Don't mind doing tandems.
I don't know if I could. I don't know if I'd be able to handle that. That would be. Oof. Just thinking about it right now, I'm feeling like I'm getting chills. Like, I don't know if I'd be able to handle that. I know he could, because he's done some of that kind of stuff from the helicopters. But I don't know. Like, the couple times that we've gone to the very top of the Empire State Building in New York City, and you get the whole view, like, below you, that's enough for me to handle that. God bless you and people that can do that from the planes, because, woo!
You sound like Barbara. She gets vertigo on.
Yeah.
She gets vertigo on 2-inch heels.
Oh, and that's the word. Vertigos. Yeah, that's the worst. That's tough.
Now,
That's tough.
at the same time, Nikki, do you like to shop?
Totally.
Okay, you're a shopper. Well, I tell you what, you and Barbara are going to have an absolute splendid time. Barbara's an Olympic shopper. She knows the places to go. Believe me, she really does. Do you like wine? Do you like wine?
I'm Italian, so absolutely.
You know, I kind of got the feeling you might have been, to be honest with you. But, yeah, absolutely. But we have some of the world-class wineries here in New Zealand as well, and would love to show you around, take in a tipple here and there. You know, you never know. Your husband might have to drive us all home.
Exactly. Yeah. We would definitely need a designated driver. Oh, I would love that. I love wineries. Beautiful.
Well, I tell you what, we might be able to do a couple of shows there. What do you reckon? And we might even get paid while we're getting drunk.
Even better.
I like that idea. I do. I did ask you if you're familiar with Lord of the Rings. Well, about an hour and a half away from where we are right now is literally the original set of Hobbiton. And
Wow.
the staff will take you through there, show you around. You guys will absolutely love it with the original Hobbit holes and party tree, the whole deal. Yeah, I'm not allowed to go back, apparently. They've asked me not to come back.
No.
Yeah, they're still missing one of those security golf cart things. Barbara informs me it's in the middle of some lake.
Uh-oh.
So until I replace it, I'm not allowed back. Well, okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I must warn you, bail money. If you're going to hang out with me, make sure you got some bail money. You might need some. Okay? I like shenanigans. Lots of shenanigans. I'm a shenanigan kind of guy. And you can understand that, having Irish sons.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to be up for everything at this point. And of course, being in a band with all guys, that's it. I'm just constantly.
Yeah.
Constantly my voice. So
What?
like.
Watch out for the leprechauns. Anyway, you got to watch out for the leprechauns, that's for sure. Now,
The leopard.
they're all about shenanigans. Now, just about an hour away from where we are right now is an absolute picturesque city called Rotorua. It's a traditional Maori city, and I'm sure you're familiar with Yellowstone National Park with the geysers, the bubbly muds, all this. The only thing missing is actually a bear. We don't have bears here, but believe me, it's like stepping back in time. It really, really is. We'd love to show you through Hell's Gate and everything like that. You will absolutely love it. Even get some of the folks that run the place to show you how to cook and thermal waters and stuff like that. Even go and have a spa and everything like that. Stunning. It is. But I've got to ask you,
Sure.
have you ever heard of Azor?
I think I have, but I don't know what it is.
Okay, a Zorb is a big, round, plastic ball. We'll put you inside it, roll you down a hill.
That's what it is?
Absolutely. To make it more funny, you know, we'll get on the sauce, have a few alcohols before. Be fun watching you try it during and after. But literally, the more you have beforehand, we'll put some runners in front of you, and it's a lot of fun running over their faces. The expressions are priceless. And I've seen people try and do it with their phones, try and capture it with their phones. Thank God, some of them are actually waterproof. We didn't tell them, everybody they had to be waterproof. You see there's water in there for friction, right?
Oh, wow.
And we do have a hose, so we can sort of, you know, afterwards as well, depending on how much alcohol you've consumed at the time. But we would love to have you come here and play in front of New Zealand audiences.
I would love to. It sounds like a hell of a lot of fun.
That's only New Zealand. Wait until we go over to Australia and try. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe 5 shows here in New Zealand, about 8 to a dozen shows over in Australia, only because we like their money, right?
I tell you, honestly, that would be a dream come true. I've always wanted to go to Australia. That would be so awesome.
Believe me, you'll be laughing. You need to come back to New Zealand to get some, well, you know, therapy afterwards. To be honest with you, you know, some downtime. Come on back. I was talking to one Australian not so long ago who was brought up in the outbacks of Australia, had kangaroos bouncing through his backyard all the time, his front yard, all the way to school, everything like that. And I was mentioning to him, you know, why don't kangaroos bounce backwards? And he goes,
Yeah.
they don't? I never knew they. I went, right. He goes, don't they? I went, no, they don't. Their tail won't let them. They always have to go forward. If they're going backwards, they have to turn around.
But he didn't even know that.
He goes, I'm 37 years of age. I've never twigged. That's Australians. Right there. Seriously. No worries, Cobber. Anyway, I reckon, you know, if you and I ever got together and had a lot of fun, I would not be the type to take home to Mama.
It doesn't sound like it.
No.
Definitely doesn't sound like it.
No, I'm the original bad boy, and I still live in that realm. Tell me about not the type, please.
I love that song. That was a pretty cool song. And that one, I think that was off of my I think that was the 8 Just for the Boys, the EP. And that one, again, recorded and you know, written in Nashville with my friend Mike Cool. I think I was striving a little bit for a again, I always like to channel a little bit of like that Gretchen Wilson style, but I really like country rock, and because I, you know, growing up so, you know, New Jersey with influences of Bon Jovi, Bruce Springsteen, and having like that rock influence too, so kind of like putting that into the country style. So we were really lucky to have Carrie Underwood's guitarist do all of the work during the production for Never Been the Type to Bring Home the Mama. He did it for Free from the Demon, and a couple of other songs. And that was something that I just like, I bragged about for months because I was like, Carrie Underwood's guitarist is playing on my track, and he made it just so much more, just having that guitar part. The whole song was like based on that, and that rock and country. What's going on there? Who's that? Is that you?
My staff are watching you, watching me, watching you.
Oh.
It's a paradox. It really, really is. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. It was just that Barbara is a master of about 50 machines all at once. You know what I mean? How she does that, I don't know. But believe me, she's got about 4 or 5 running at any given time.
Isn't it amazing? It's amazing.
It's a talent.
Amazing. And it goes so quick, too.
Yeah, it's a talent. I don't know how the heck she does it, but I tell you what, maybe she's not the type I'd take home to mother as well, to be honest with you. Anyway, I know my wife wouldn't approve of my mother either, so never mind. You're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, joined live coming out of New Jersey by Nikki Briar. Not the type to take home to mother. So we've got one more to go, which is your biggest hit right here at Galaxy. Now, Nikki, I'm going to ask you, are you looking at bringing out more music in the near future?
Yes, yeah, I have the EP that Mama's Boy is connected to. So the next single that I'm releasing is called Forever Young.
Will you come back again? Can we do this again?
Oh gosh, yes, I would love to. If you will, I would love to.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
if I will.
Yeah, we
that
will.
almost sounds... You didn't hear it. Yes, I would love to have you back again, Nikki. I'm a big fan. Look, as I said, I'm 37 years I've been an engineer. I can't fault your work. I love your work. I really, really do.
I really appreciate that. That means a lot to me. So I would love to talk to you and hang out with you anytime.
Awesome, awesome. And tell your hubby, all's good. It's all good. It's all about music. Now, at the same time,
He's doing a good job holding down the fort upstairs.
I do have a fan question for you too that came through just as we were going to do that. My on-air producer was asking me about how fans can get hold of you. I'm going to ask you that question very, very shortly. And at the same time, if you have any merch you would like to maybe toss down this way in New Zealand, we can do a giveaway and promote you, because believe me, while we're doing these interviews, people actually go and have a look. For some reason, I don't know who would do things like this, you know, but people go and have a look, and before you know it, you've sold a bunch of merch, you've sold a few more records, and you've got a whole host.
So I'll get the address. I'll get your address, and yeah, I'd love to send you guys some goodies.
Nice, nice. We'll talk about that, believe me, because Barbara will give you all the details. She's genius. But guys, remember Kadu, my bro.
To bring home to mama. Home to mama. Yeah.
You know, Nikki, I've got the dossier here. I've got to be honest with you, the Bible on Nikki Briar. But it doesn't tell me who your influences are. I get who you've opened up for, including Big Country, Low Cash, even good friends of ours, Blueberry Smoke. We call them Blueberry Smoke. We call them Blueberry Smoke, you know what I mean? Blackberry Smoke, but, you know, we've given them a bit of stick over the years, but we love these guys as well. Now, but what it doesn't tell me right here is who your influences are. Now, you've mentioned Gretchen Wilson a couple of times.
Yeah.
What was her influence forming Nikki Briar?
You know, it's hard for me to pinpoint, I think, one person that influenced me, but I guess because I grew up on a totally different genre of music than what I'm even doing now, and like than what most kids grew up on, because my father was touring and doing like Motown and jazz, and at the time it was, considered their pop music too. But, my dad really introduced me to just music. And then when I started liking some of, who was popular at the time, I was learning to play guitar, and I think I was in middle school. I was learning to play guitar, and one of the first songs I learned was a Garth Brooks song, and it was If Tomorrow Never Comes. And I was like, oh my God, that song is so gorgeous, and that's a really deep song for a middle schooler. And then I started hearing about Shania Twain and LeAnn Rimes, and I never really called it country music. I just thought it was music. And my friends would make fun of me and say, oh my gosh, country music. And I was like, no, it's just music. Like, I like it. So it's really hard for me to say, like, who influenced me, but I give the credit to my father, because he really just taught me how to, if you're a true musician, you appreciate music, and that's it. You learn it, you educate yourself, you support it, and it doesn't mean that you have to be a hip hop artist. It doesn't mean that you have to be a heavy metal artist, but like, you just appreciate music for what it is. And I feel like that has helped me just kind of like free my mind. I'm just open to everything. And I like that country music has so many subgenres. So from Southern rock, like, to be asked to perform with Lori Morgan and Marshall Tucker and Blackberry Smoke and the Outlaws, I'm like, wait a minute. So that's traditional country, that's Southern rock, that's, Southern outlaw music. And I never knew that I could categorize myself as one of those, but then to be asked to do it, it was like, it was really nice to know that I could be categorized in multiple ways. So, and then I've gotten like a lot of questions, like if you could do a duet with somebody, and I always say I would love to do a duet with Michael Bublé, because that's all the music that I grew up on, and he took all the American standards and he turned them modern again, so that like the newer generation appreciates it. And that's everything that I grew up on because of my father, Ray Charles, everything. So I would love to do a duet with him, because that brings me back to what like I grew up on, and his voice is amazing. So I'm really all over the place, like spectrum wise, when it comes to music. But my connection with country music, it comes from the military, and it comes from the fact that I have a story to tell as an Army wife, and as a new mother, and I just love that country music really is about connecting with your audience and your fans and telling that story. So I think that's why I connected, the most with it, even though I've done everything from cabarets to, musical theaters, but like, I just love it in general. So,
Nikki, I think you've got your Mason Jar membership. I really, really do. If you haven't, it's in the post, okay? Believe me. Now, as a fan, how do we get hold of you, Nikki? Are you on Facebook? Are you on Twitter? Are you on Instagram? But more importantly, Nikki, do you respond?
All the time. All the time. And I've even apologized to Barbara. We're like, I'm so sorry I didn't respond to you sooner.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, you shouldn't have said that, because now you're going to get another 5,000 Facebook fans. But are you on the internet as well? Have you got a website? Are you?
Everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah. So my main website is nikkibriar.com. So it's really easy. I mean, if you Google me, hopefully good things come up about me. But yeah, I'm everywhere. Instagram, Twitter. Apparently my music's on TikTok now, so that's pretty cool. I have my own Pandora radio station, so I make playlists up of other artists that I like, and with my music. So but I respond to everybody. I do all my own social media. My husband runs my website, and I always respond to everybody.
So can we buy your music there? Can we download your music from there, or do you have to go to all the platforms like Spotify, Amazon? You know what I'm talking about, iTunes, Bandcamp, the whole deal. Can we find your music on these platforms as well?
Yeah, so it's everywhere you guys, get your music. Spotify, Amazon, CD Baby, YouTube Music, Google Music. But what I just started working with a company through TuneCore called Song Whip. And what I love about it is that it's basically like you can use it as an app, or you just can go directly to Nikki Briar Song Whip, and it takes you to all the platforms. So it's just like a mini website, and I think that's becoming a popular thing now, so that everyone doesn't have to, here's the link for this, here's the link for that. It takes you to one website, and you click on the one that you want. You want, Spotify, you want it, however you want to order it, iTunes and stuff. So I just started working with them, Song Whip, and they've been awesome. But, everything with merchandise and music is on my website, nikkibriar.com. Yeah.
Brilliant. And I'm pleased you said merchandise too, because believe me, people are going to want to know if they can buy a Nikki Briar t-shirt, a koozie, stuff like that. Believe me, they are going to want to do that. Before you know it, Nikki, you're going to have more money than you know what to deal with now. I feel sorry for you.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, boy.
You'll be already cashing in on the children's college funds,
Exactly.
done.
That's what it all
Out of the way. Yeah, got that out of the way. Now I can spend some money on myself.
We do everything. We have everything from trucker hats to shirts, tank tops, koozies. I'm obsessed with koozies. So we always make like 2 or 3 different design koozies. So, they're everywhere. And I got to send you guys some goodies.
Yeah, do that too. Please do that, because, well, I got to be honest, our audio audience, they do like free stuff. They really do. But they earn it. They earn it as much as anything. Now, how would you like to throw in maybe a stack of CDs that we can put with it and make it an attractive giveaway, but at the same time, next time you're near a recordable 58, you know what I'm talking about, a microphone, how would you like to say, hi, it's Nikki Briar, and you're listening to Galaxy 107 FM. We can put it on the radio.
I was just thinking about that, too. In between the segments when you were playing it, I was like, ooh, I should ask them, like, if they want me to record a little intro. So, I'll do it.
I love that. I love that. Keep in contact with Barbara. Believe me, she will give you all the details. But be original. Be original. Come up with something yourself rather than the same old that everybody says. And, hi, it's me, and I'm on Galaxy. I don't know whether you're familiar with the band coming out of Canada. They're actually in the Hall of Fame there by the name of the Roadhammers. Now, one of the guys out of that band, Clayton Bellamy, he says to me one day, well, I was actually talking about his pants. To be honest, he's got a Stars and Stripes kind of deal on his pants that he did in a video. And I says, I want those pants. And he goes, I'm threatening to send them to you as well. And it was funny that just before we started talking, Clayton, I was actually talking to a young lady, and I was in her bedroom. And he goes, that's interesting. I said, yeah, I never get invited into ladies' bedrooms anymore. You know what I mean? But I was, and we did the full interview in her bedroom. He goes, that's really cool. So a couple of days later, I get in from the production team, come wandering through to me and says, Grant, you're going to have to listen to this. And I went, what is it? And they went, come and have a listen. So we went into the studio, and in there is this advert from Clayton Bellamy going, hi, I don't know how I got into your bedroom, but thank you for listening to Galaxy 107 FM.
Yeah, so anything like
So
that was creative. That's creative. That's good.
Completely creative, but that's the type of guy he is. You know what I mean? He'll
Yeah.
pick something and just make fun of it. He says to me it's a country thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a country thing. Nikki Briar,
It's a country thing.
tell me about Country Thang. Please tell me. This is your most requested song here. I can't get through a breakfast show in a weekday without playing it at least once, and 1912 requests to date since we've been playing it. Tell me how you got so popular.
Wow. I tell you, you guys are amazing. What you do in supporting musicians and your listeners. Thank you so much. That is such an honor.